We were brought in and asked our opinions about what we could do with the space. It was an old 1980s law firm, deep red mahoganies, carpet floors, very heavily textured wallpaper, chair rail. We decided to put together a package of materials and a time frame by which we could finish, and we came up with this. And this is a great variety of products. Upon entering, you basically will look at a ceiling first and foremost, and the shine of the ceiling. This is a paneled ceiling that's been actually substituted for a drop ceiling. We literally didn't demo anything. We created a frame around the tray, and then we created a frame within that, and then dropped in our own Venetian plaster panels, cut out the voids, and developed a form of light using tinted glass in those areas. The countertops are a very smooth, polished microcement. So all of this is the microcement. We did that on top of pre-existing counters. Again, we didn't demo. We tried to salvage all the walls and the structures without pulling anything apart. And we found ways to build out our veneers using mesh, microcements, proper adhesion, chemical bonds, mechanical bonds. And in this room alone, we have clay and lime, we have the polished plaster, we have the microcement, the polished Venetian plaster, which we're known for and we teach. So stepping out of the lobby, they wanted this to be a retail section. So we made a lot of retail shelves out of foam. I thought that was the best idea for costs. And we installed very small, low voltage lighting just to accent the products that will be on those shelves. We carried through in the same tray ceiling what we did in the entry. Both ceilings had the same finish, the polished plaster. One of the things that Ron Francis or I strictly said in the beginning is that we weren't going to be this pristine corners and edges. We wanted our hands to be noticed in our application. So we were going to have a little bit of movement and kind of rough the edges on the shelving and some on the ceiling. We wanted a little bit of the movement to be seen in the plaster of our own hands as artisans. We have an interesting corner here. The designer wanted white oak, and I said that I could faux that. So we did a microcement countertop that was there. We changed the entire mahogany, red mahogany, to a white oak with brass knobs. And then a real interesting process over here, very costly, is they wanted a mirror, and I suggested an antique mirror of Vera Eglomise, which is an ancient European technique. The mirror, which is now a mirror, was a normal piece of glass. And what we do is on the back side, we tilt the glass about a 45-degree angle, and in a pot, we've boiled some gelatin, which is kind of like a rabbit skin glue, or say it's a size, gelatin size. And we melt it, and then we mop all that liquid on the back of the glass at a tilt. And while that's tilted, we take the 12-karat gold leaf off of their paper and then blow them down very gently, one at a time on the back. And it floats in the gelatin and then solidifies. And we do that one at a time on the back. We anticipate and desire some of these voids to show up. It's where the gold is either split when you lay it, or we move it on the back with some cotton balls to rough the gold slightly up. And when that's all dry, we lock the gold in with a clear, and then we roll it with black. So you're actually looking through, all of this is the 12-karat gold, which is white, and then you're looking through some of the voids and seeing the back end of the black paint. Very old European method, and we're messing around with it and trying to perfect how we want to use it in our company and supply that as a service for clients. We're pretty happy with this. Yeah. One of the big territories in this space was the floor space. Somewhere along the line, we realized that maybe it would be a great idea to have reflective lighting on the floor, since everything's matte and kind of chalk-like. I introduced modified epoxy with a pearlescent and champagne pigment. So we capitalized on laying that on top after we've done the floor. We've layered this and prepped this floor with at least 7 different materials before we even laid the epoxy. Every one of these arches used to be straight doorways, and we've built out every one of these doors to create the arches, which is what the client wanted. That's why our shelves have an arch at the top of it. To accentuate the arch, decided to use clay and lime. So this is a very heavily textured clay and lime material called calce crude, also a Nova Color product. This was a technique that exists everywhere, but we wanted the vertical, the up and down, not the horizontal. I wanted it heavily textured in some of these pits to remain. The wonderful thing about this product is you can build it out pretty thick and she doesn't shrink or crack. So you're able to create textures and they remain as true as you made them when you put your hand on them. They don't have to be changed. And this was using a concrete comb that normally you use to score stuccos or ground. And I used those long blades and combed down straight as the guys applied the plaster in front of me. Yeah. This was a space that evolved from day one. So I originally said, well, we'll make this countertop in microcement and then we'll make a bench over here. From the simple bench, it evolved into like an idea with my crew. We thought how cool it would be to make it a little more private where they could actually sit in their own private space. So we actually cut all of this fabric, made all of these cushions. It's a really nice tweed fabric. And then we microcement the interiors of everything. And we sealed all of that in a phase, it's a lime seal to protect it. And then we actually have 3 spaces because you see there's nothing that holds the bench up except for the back wall. We're putting stones here, that'll be coming in the next few days, underneath 3 sections to hold the weight of whatever individuals sit there. Another unique portion of this was we built all of these banquettes and then we formed them in microcement as well, so there's more seating. We've got a lot of throw pillows coming. And one of the guys, Floyd Singleton, came up with a great idea to once again follow through with some of these arch and half circles throughout. Came up with the idea of putting these little accents here to kind of make it a little more contemporary on the wall. And we lined that with the same material that's on the doorways. One of the features from, we'll call it, say, the back of the house to the front of the house, we weren't sure what we were going to do from the very beginning, but I finalized it after seeing the clay and lime on the arches that I was going to follow through with that same finish. There's not an inch of this finish where everything is identical. While it is a particular way of moving and a way of applying, we really have a unique kind of some highs and some lows. We did not want something to look like wallpaper. We really wanted overall to have an organic, handmade, artisan project inside of Inertia. That's what she wanted too. That's why she asked us to do it.